What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Leon Angus, and in this one we're going to be going through a successful niche website that's currently generating over $400 per month. Now the site in question is a bit different to the ones that I've reviewed previously on this channel. Now if you haven't been following this series, what it is I review successful niche sites over the course of every video, which is about 20 minutes to half an hour, sometimes a bit longer than that. And what I do is I just give the website a complete overhaul, looking at all of the SEO on-site metrics, all of the off-site metrics, so the backlink profile, the anchor text, the type of content that they've written, how persuasive it is, how good and effective I believe it is, you know, the kind of buttons they've used, images, media, absolutely everything. And in hope, by doing this, you can then take away a few key points that are good from the website or based on my analysis and apply that to your own website. So this is a very useful and educational video and a series that I've been running for the past 3 weeks. If you are new to the channel, then I'd like to encourage you to subscribe because it's going to be very helpful to you. And also make sure you've got that notification bell switched on so you can stay up to date with all of the content that I'm pushing out. All right, so what we're going to do in today's video, the website that we're going to be going through and reviewing is called mybestcarseat.com. Now this is currently being listed on a website called motioninvest.com. Many of you may have heard of it before, which is a website created by Spencer Hawes. He is the guy who also, I believe, created Niche Pursuits. Okay, so he's put this website together, and all it is a marketplace where you can purchase and sell websites. But I go in there every so often to find new websites that they have listed, so I can review them and share them with you, and in kind of return they get a bit more traffic towards that particular offer, and they might get a sale from, you know, someone watching my video. All right, so what we're going to do today is go through all of the most important information on this website, and we're just going to give it a complete overhaul, and that's all going to be done on my computer. But just before we do get onto the computer today, what I'd like to do is just give you a little insight to what this site entails. Okay, so I've got a few notes here. So currently the site has 40 articles posted across the website. It also has a domain authority of 19, which is pretty good. So it's obviously been around for quite some time, or it has a good backlink profile. It also has rankings for over 2,205 keywords. So that means within the top 100 results on Google, it's showing up for over 2,000 different keywords, which is very good as well for the size of the site in particular. Currently, the actual website owner is only spending about 1 hour per week for maintaining the site. So obviously, if you were to invest into a site like this, you know, if it does kind of check out to be a good site or a good investment, then, you know, unless you're growing the site, just to maintain it, you could be looking at just an hour a week to generate $400 per month. And then we've got obviously the sale price is $12,600, which makes the site come in at a 31x multiple. So that means obviously 12,600 divided by 404, which is the monthly earnings, gives you a 31 times monthly earning multiple. Okay, so that's how much it's being sold for. And obviously when we do our valuations on this channel, we usually obviously do put it at about 25 to 30x, because that is the average current going rate at the moment based on Empire Flippers. Let's get into the video and let's get into this website and start taking a look. I'm looking at my phone currently, so, you know, just getting a few notes from there. But yeah, all right, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are on the actual listing on the website, Motion Invest, and this is the actual listing for this website. So we're going to just take a look at some of the other information available to us. So as I mentioned previously, this is how many keywords it's ranking for, so on and so forth. They've also noted that there are no foreign backlinks going to this website as well, which is quite good. So it's all like obviously American or US or Australian or whatever else, you know, wherever the site is based. And then we can see here some of the Google Analytics data over the past 12 months we can see here, and then you can see the natural progression of the growth of traffic to the site. So this should give you a good gauge of what to expect in regards to just a slow moving general kind of site traffic growth. You know, you can see here that from January 2019 to February 2020, 4x'd itself, or 10x'd itself in traffic. So that's 10 times the traffic. So that's pretty good. That's really good. And I mean, you could even get better results than that if you posted more content on the site. And then this is the proof of income. So this is the last 12 months. Let's have a look. That was December 2019. So December 2019. And then the most recent one is February 2020. So you can see December, January had a big month. Not sure why. It might be depending on the niche, and obviously a lot more buyer intent around January sales and whatever else. So you can see it had a really big month in January, and then it evened back out to 300 for February. And then that reflects there as well. So you can see that the site's only really been earning money since November 2019. So even with that traffic, let's just have a look at November here. Even with 2,000 visitors per month, the site was still not really making any sales. So this should really give you a realistic expectation of, you know, how sites move. Now with 2,000 visitors per month, I mean, you could be making sales. They might have been making some sales and it just hasn't been listed here, or they just started monetizing at that point where they signed up to the affiliate Amazon or whatever at the point of November, you know. So that's what it could be as well, because some people tend to only monetize once they get traffic, which makes sense as well, because you do have to have sales within like the first 3 months or 6 months with the Amazon Associates program, and until they kick you out if you don't have that. All right, so if we take a look at this, then we've got down here the Ahrefs backlink profile data, so we can see how many backlinks are coming in and how many unique referring domains are actually linking to the website. And then as you can see here, it reflects over the 2,000 organic keywords that they're showing up in Google for in the top 100 results. Now, according to this tool, obviously they're saying that they're getting 561 visits per month, which we obviously know is not true, because we've got the Google Analytics data there as well that proves that wrong. There was actually a subscriber who asked in the last video whether Ahrefs is absolutely accurate. Well, as you can see from this, there are inaccuracies, because this is from January 2020. It says that it's 561 visitors per month. And then if we take a look at January for the Google Analytics, it says 6,000. Okay, so you can see that it is inaccurate. The best way of getting the accurate information in regards to traffic specifically is to use Google's Analytics platform. Okay, all right, so now we're going to get into the actual website, take a look at it, and you know, go through those all most important pros and cons to the site. All right, so this is the site on the forefront. As you can see, they're using a static homepage. This is very good for this type of model because it's a very niche specific product focused website. Now, one of the other things that I can see here is that they're using exact match domain, which we call EMDs in SEO. Okay, what this is basically they've got the keyword that they're trying to rank for within the domain. So we've got best car seat. That's like the overall biggest kind of keyword that they're probably trying to rank for. So you can see here best and then car seat. Now what they are doing with this is they're going to use something called a silo, and what that means is they're going to use like a page at the top and then pages that link from the bottom underneath to that main page to boost this main big page up in the ranks. All right, so you can see here that the content's very nice, warm and friendly. I'm a strong believer in breaking the text up with the featured image at the top of a piece of content. I do explore between the two, but on buyer intent articles, I tend to break it up right at the beginning. They're using nice short text, and I love the things like exclamation marks and so on, because it makes it very kind of warm and friendly to read, okay, when you see like different symbols and whatever else. And then as we come down, you know, the content's pretty well written. I like it. We've got quite a big wall of text here, but it's not so much a wall. They're still breaking it down into 4 lines each, which is perfectly fine. And then we've got pros and cons. I always love it with the green and, you know, red, because that makes like a mental recognition for us as humans when we read something. And then we've got all the images and buy now. Now, one of the things I'll give you as a bonus tip that works very well is, for some reason, and this is through, you know, in various tests that I've ran myself, you'll find that buy now links usually work very well next to images. I'm not sure why, you know, what the kind of methodology is behind that, but I've tested it on multiple sites and it seems to convert very well when you've got a buy now button or a link near to an image. All right, so as we go down, you can see that this is just a complete review article, very buyer intent focused, and then they've got some frequently asked questions at the bottom, which I always recommend, and then they've also got a link to one of their other articles just over here. All right, so what this is basically like a silo effect. So what they're going to do is all of these smaller articles, which we call child pages, are going to be linking up to that main article. All right, so let's just have a look at where this one's linking to, probably to the, okay, so this is like a side step to another article, and then this would probably link back to the home page at some point. You know, so that will be it there, best convertible, and it goes back to the home page. So what we're going to do next is take a look at this website's theme. Okay, so the theme looks pretty good. I like it. It's nothing spectacular, but they've used like this blog page kind of central formatting, which I think is pretty good. It's fine. The reason why this works very well is because it funnels people through the purchasing process. So when someone's actually, you know, at this point here and they land on this page, if you want them to just click a button and buy or click a link, there are no distractions to lead them off a page, because one of the biggest things that we have in this current climate is a lot of distraction. So you got things buzzing and, you know, pinging at you. So the more you can reduce that, the higher your conversions are going to be. They've also got a nice selection of images and video across their content as well. So obviously as you come in here, you can see like there's a quotation there, which also always works well, because that lets them know that they're talking to a real person. Or you could use this as an expert opinion as well. And then obviously over here, you've got here again, this is like a fun fact or something like that. That always works well, letting the reader know that you actually have the answer to the solution to the problem, and also that you've been doing your due diligence and your homework to actually, you know, figure out what this topic is about and how to solve the problem. And then they've obviously broken everything down into nice H2 titles. We've got H2s here, H2s there, and then H3s for subheadings, which is absolutely brilliant. And just to let you know, on formatting, you always want H1 for the main header, which you don't usually have the option of changing anyway, so you can't go wrong there. Then you want H2s for the sub main topics. And then anything that's a subtopic of an H2, you would make a H3. And then if you have a subtopic of an H3, it would be a H4 title. All right, so that's how you want to format your blog articles. And that will also help you within rankings, because Google's search engine wants to see that kind of formatting ladder when it's analyzing your website. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to take a look at here is that the logo could be better. I don't really think that the logo is that good. It's not all that. It could do with some improvement. Of course, they have no favicon as well, and that's probably because their logo is just like some text. I would actually just head over to Fiverr and get a logo designer to just design me a logo for about $8 or $5, and you would have a much better kind of brand behind this website that people could get familiar with. Now, because this is an affiliate site, they're not really expecting people to come back and whatever else, so they're not like doing things like capturing emails and whatever else. This is just like purely to leave a response, and they'll get your email there, which they'll just use to sell the site or whatever. But that's not the main focus. The main focus is to get you to click an affiliate link and make a purchase. All right, so if we wanted to check the theme, there's a website called WP theme is that, and we're just going to head over to that right now and plug that in, and then we'll be able to see exactly what theme they're using, if it's a WordPress one. So you can see here, this is the name of the theme, which is Press Customizer, and you can see here that's an example of the theme. And then these are a few plugins that they're also using within this site, which is the Contact Forms all-in-one SEO plugin, which is just help with meta descriptions and rankings like titles and whatever else. And then we've got Social Plug, which is just a social plug, which is probably the social media icons to share the post on the site. All right, so the site pretty loads very fast as well, so it's a nice experience just on the forefront as an actual user. The only thing I would potentially change and some of this media is not using such stock images, because no one can resonate with the images. It looks like, you know, very kind of just like a shop. You know, it's not really something that someone's really experienced this problem and they are sharing some information. Another thing is they don't have like an author bio. I personally would have had that, because when I went down to the about page, it's just like a company kind of page. So they're trying to take a brand approach. But if you're taking a brand approach, that would usually work better for an authority website, number one. But number two, if you are taking that approach, then you need to have a strong branding. So things like logo and favicon are going to be absolutely, you know, imperative to to having success with that kind of strategy. And obviously you would want them to get familiar with some kind of color scheme and whatever else. Now I think this color scheme is pretty good. Like, even though it's quite dull, I do think it works very well, because then you've got the contrasting links that stand out and jump out at you in regards to the areas or the key sections that you'd like to see. So I think that works pretty well with the gray. And then the content is very nicely written. I do think it's very nicely written. There are some areas where, you know, it looks a bit kind of like a long wall in that sense, but for the most part it's very good. And if we just take a look from that angle, this will let you know how I'm kind of seeing it when I'm saying like a big wall of text like that. It's like a big chunk, you know, and when someone's reading it, if we were to like look on, just say for example, mobile, we can see here, this is how someone would see it on mobile. So you can see on some mobiles, the only downside to using this kind of featured image is that sometimes the text might get like, you know, scrumped up along the side. If we click like iPhone 6, then, you know, it's a bit better, or iPhone 6 Plus, okay, that's worse, you know, so on and so forth. So Pixel 2 would be worse. iPhone X, let's have a look. So iPhone X is not too bad. If it was just a little bit larger, this image, then it would squash the text down here. But you can just see how it works. That's how it looks on mobile, which is still pretty good, very good to be honest. So that's good as well. Now another thing that they've done pretty well is they're also using nice subcategories. So everything's broken into sections, so you can easily quickly navigate the site and get to any particular articles that you need to very quickly and effectively. One of the other things that they've done well as well is that they've got clean permalinks. So when you start off a WordPress website, it's always going to have / and then XY blah blah blah, like all of these different things, and maybe like the category and so on and so forth. But just keeping it very clean and setting it to post name is what I found to be the best. And the way you get to that is in your WordPress panel, you go to settings and then reader, and then it will be in that section you want to select post name. So whilst I said that the site loads very fast, what I wanted to do is just actually drum one of these pages into pingdom.com and see how the website performs under a speed test. Alright, so we're just waiting for that to load up, and we'll see exactly how fast the website is when we put it into a tool. And you can also do Google page speed insights, which is a good one. Alright, so as expected, the page is reasonably sized. I mean, 1.3 megabytes is a little bit on the large side, but not huge. You ideally want it under 1 megabyte, but as long as the page is loading within under 2 to 3 seconds, then you're very good. Okay, so you can see here this is 1.67 seconds, which is brilliant. And if you did want to optimize and improve, you know, the page speed, then this gives you all the information down here. So you can see like this is a bit of JavaScript, then this one's an image, so on and so forth. So you can see what's making up most of it. Like this image is quite large, but I mean, well, it's still under 100 kilobytes, which is very good for images, but you could reduce the size of that if you wanted to increase the page speed a little bit. And then according to Google Page Speed Insights, it could do with better on mobile, but desktop is very good. You can see at 93. So 44 on mobile needs improvement, but I'm sure they could easily do that by optimizing images first. One of the things that I didn't like too much about the way that the content was written is the fact that it's all focused on we, like, so it's we will do this, we that, we this. I personally wouldn't use that approach on a niche website, because if you are trying to kind of build up trust very quickly on the front end with a reader, you would want to introduce them to a persona. So the way you can actually create a persona, which is perfectly legitimate to do on a niche website, according to Google, is you could use a website called Fake Name Generator. And what that will allow you to do is you can create a persona with, you know, an email address tailored to your specific website, like support or contact at mybestcarseat.com. And then this will give you all the relevant rest of the information. The only thing I wouldn't use is the addresses, because they're usually not real addresses. So you might want to go and Google a real address that's unlisted, like unregistered. Use that in collaboration or conjunction with the profile that you get here. And then obviously you can see here that there's all this other information that you can gather from this. Okay, so you might want the phone number and, you know, the data like the age and whatever else that you can use in multiple services, and I would recommend that you keep all that information stored in an Excel spreadsheet. All right, so if we look at the interlinking process, there's something here which is called, like these links on the forefront, they're called anchor text, okay, in SEO. So sometimes we're using like URL, which is branded anchor text, so that's the actual brand. So it might be like mybestblablabla.com, so that would be a URL link. Or if we say buying best car seat, that's actually an exact match keyword. Okay, so we're using exact match anchor text here. Okay, so they wouldn't want to use that too much, because obviously you can potentially get penalized for that. On the internal linking, you can do this quite aggressively, but you don't want to be going beyond 50% of your links. Now, the other 50% I would use is 25% miscellaneous. So that's just random text like click here or check this out, whatever else that may be. And then you want 25% to be branded. So you want obviously, your branded links as well inside internally. Now, in regards to outbound links, that's going to be completely different. And in order to gather that information, you'd have to assess and analyze your competition who are ranking for this particular keyword in the top 10 to analyze what their kind of strategy is. Now, there are two types of sites. Now, you guys might have seen me before, downplay sites like this, like our product focus. This doesn't mean that you can't rank these type of sites or they're not good. These sites are very good. And as you can see, this site's only like 40 pages, as it said, or wherever that information was, 40 articles only. And you can see that it's already bringing in quite a bit of money. Well, with this kind of site, you need to focus heavily on the SEO and technical SEO. If you're not good at SEO and you just want to write articles and you just want to do writing, then you should not take this approach. You should follow an approach like Income School, where you create like a blog and you make a YouTube channel and all that other stuff along with this, but for this, it's specifically focused on like a keyword, on a product. And this is the kind of site that you need heavy SEO tactics for. So you might be using like, buying backlinks. You're going to be doing a lot of on-page SEO to make sure everything's optimized very well. And then obviously you might be more aggressive in your approach of how you use like linking and wording and whatever else, and it's going to be very buyer intent focused, like the whole site. But I did like the fact that when you actually click the blog section, they've got a nice selection of listicle type articles, which is like top 5 this or 5 ways you can do this, XYZ, all these listed kind of articles. And then we've also got some buyer intent, and then we've also got some informational articles which work very well as well. So you can see, is baby wearing better than car seat carrying? So some of the keywords inside of the titles I found that could have been better, because they're trying to cram the keywords as it were in the actual keyword they're trying to target. Now that works very well for most cases, but I just want to let you know that Google's ranking algorithm is not based on a whole phrase. That is taken into consideration in regards to TF-IDF, which is something I'll explain in a different video, but it's term frequency and inverse document frequency. But what we're trying to do is basically rank based on specific words. So for example, if this is best luxury car seats for kids, you don't have to write that in the same exact way that it's written there in the way that you're trying to rank it. You can actually word it in your own complete way, as long as those specific words pop up at some section like here, there and wherever, and it includes all of them, then you'll still be taken into account and Google will still be able to understand exactly what you're trying to optimize the content for. So don't feel that you have to word it in the exact same way that it's written up there. And that goes the same for any kind of search engine, YouTube, Bing, anything. You don't have to do the exact phrase as it's written. You can, as long as you incorporate those words into the actual title, then you will still be ranked accordingly. All right. One of the other things that I took a look at was the fact that the conversion rate was pretty low on Amazon. So when I took a look at this, I can see that they're converting here at 6%, 7%, 5%, and 8%. Now I actually, convert at around 20% on my Amazon conversions. So I was wondering, why are their conversions so low? Because they're getting the clicks, so that means people are landing over on Amazon, but they're not actually purchasing the products that they're recommending. And when I took a look, obviously the main focus throughout this whole website is this article here, this static page. Now if you do have intentions of building a niche website, I would recommend a static homepage if you're trying to keep your site very small important niche, because that's going to allow you to have a good strong siloing structure, which is basically going to pass all of the linking power throughout all of your articles in a web-like format. Now, if you are building a bigger website, then you might just want to have like a portal kind of thing, you know, where you just have like a few featured posts from different articles, or a few featured posts that go to different categories. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if we take a look at this, they are getting the clicks and they are getting people over to Amazon, but the people are not purchasing. Now, I always look for if the products are bad, because if you're getting the clicks and obviously people are not purchasing, then usually it's an indicator that the products you're recommending are not good in some way. Okay, so if we take a look at just 3 of them, we can see this one's at $199, this one's a very good product at $240, and then this one's a very good product again at $95. Now, whilst these are all good products, one of the things that struck me was I recently purchased a baby car seat for under $50. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what everyone would do, you know, because some people are more like on the basis of the more they spend, the more safe they believe the car seat is. Okay, which isn't the case. It's obviously based on, you know, the quality and the testing that it's been through. But if we take a look at these car seats, what I found interesting is that although $199 is a great price product and it has good reviews, first of all, it only has 10 ratings on this one. This one has a lot of ratings, which is very good. And this one has a lot of ratings. But the actual price of these products, I don't believe warrant a purchase for this type of product. Okay, so like if someone, the average person, the average kind of spend on a car seat is not $200. So although they've done all the extras of linking to a good rated product, I believe that the actual products that they link to are too expensive. So what's happening is a lot of people are landing here and then thinking, oh, you know, I'm not going to buy this today. Whereas if it was at a reasonable price, then obviously more people would probably make the purchase. Now, in regards to SEO, a lot of the time you're going to learn, and even I recommend this a lot of the time, is that the magic price point is anywhere above $100 for a product, depending on what niche you're in, give or take, because the average the average commission rate for an Amazon product is $7. So if you're recommending something at $100, you can expect to make about $7 per purchase. So if you do 10 of them a day, you're expecting $70. But at the same time, I think what also needs to be taken into account or consideration is the type of niche that you're in. If you're focusing on car seats, a lot of the time people are looking for very, you know, kind of reasonable price product that they can get quickly and obviously, you know, upgrade for their baby. So sometimes, you know, with all the other expenses that someone has as a new parent, they might not be looking to spend an additional $200 or $300 on specifically just a car seat when they just spent like $500 on a pushchair or whatever, yeah, or stroller if you're in America. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to plug this homepage we'll take into account onto my tool in keysearch.co. So there's a tool that I use called keysearch.co. It's a very good tool, and this basically allows me to do an analysis on competitors' websites. So they're not currently ranking for their main keyword that they're trying to go for, because I tried to take a look here. You can see that it's a highly competitive keyword, but it has a huge amount of search traffic, which is why they've gone for it. But there are some reasons or indicators that they felt they could go for on this keyword, which is why they've attempted to go for it. And whilst we're here, a great site to take a look at for affiliate sites, I think this site got sold for $30 million by a guy who built it, like, and eventually built up a team. But it's just an Amazon affiliate site, a big one. It's an authority site, and yeah, the site sold for $30 million to, I believe, the New York Times. So go and research and check out that kind of thing, because it will show you how big you can go with Amazon sites if you are willing to put that working. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the page analyzer. This will show me the on-page SEO within reason on this website. Okay, so we're going to analyze that. We're also going to check out this tool called the Content Assistant. So this will basically tell us if they've incorporated the correct keywords that the other top 10 ranking sites are using into their article, and also it'll show us based on the content length if they've included or targeted the right kind of length for their article as well. So what we're going to look at here, we can see that the domain authority is 19 as it said on the listing, and then the page authority on average is 28, which is very good. This is the home page, so obviously this might have a higher authority because of all the links going to it from the other pages, so it might be a bit more authoritative than the other pages on the site. And then this is inaccurate again with the total backlinks, but over 1600 keywords, and according to their actual report it's over 2000. Okay, so we can see that the title's good. You always want to keep your titles in between 10 and 70 characters, purely because you'll get truncated if it's any longer than that. So when you type like best car seat or something, I don't know, best canned dog food, yeah, so what happens is if your title's too long, it will look like, let's see, we can't, these guys have all kind of followed suit, so let's find these ones. You see, like this, it's cut off, so that's because it's longer than that 70 character count, and I personally believe 65 characters is the best, so as a maximum. Okay, all right, so in between 10 and 70. And then obviously they've got a good use of H1, H2, H3 and H4 titles, so that's very good, and it shows you how many they're using on the page. So we've got one H2. Personally, I'd have a few more H2s. You don't want a bunch of H5s on the page and not have like a lot of H2s. You need several H2s to break up sections, so that's a bit worrying that they haven't used that on this article, because that's, according to the tool, this is the only H2 on the article. So I would have most definitely maybe broken up. If you use H2s there, then all of these would be H3s, but they've used H5s for that. I would definitely change that to H3s, so they're all under within this top 11 section. So these would be all H3, H3, H3. So not sure why they did that. That's something, that's a technical problem I would correct. You can see that there are 14 images, and we want to see if they've used alt tags inside of those images, which we'll check in a second. So good. Okay, most or all of them have alt tags, which is brilliant. And then text to HTML ratio is very good. Ideal. This page's ratio of text to HTML code 25 and 70%, which is good. I don't worry with all this. URL rewrite is, you know, very friendly. As I said, clean permalinks, no underscores, very good. And then you can see, like, you know, external links. There are no external links on that page because they're trying to get people to just click affiliate links. And then you can see 62% of their links on that page are internal, and then external links passing juice are 37%. So that might be, you know, so there are external links, sorry, and there are a few that are passing link juice, which is basically sending out authority. So you can see here passing juice, and that's just basically sending out, you know, power through those links. And then these are the keyword consistency, so you can see how many times, you know, they've optimized. So this is basically showing us sometimes, you know, if we've used it like over optimized or under optimized it and so on. I don't really use this tool specifically for this, so I'm not sure on how to gauge this. We can see, you know, legible font sizes, which is very good. So it does say that they have a favicon. This isn't a favicon. They would need to use one, and the website, first of all, is not secure. I never even realized that. So it's not secure, so that means it's not HTTPS, which there was a Google update for. So they do need to make it HTTPS, which means all of the sensitive and secure information is protected and encrypted if someone was to enter any information personal on this site. Okay, so things like emails and stuff, you don't even want that going out. And then as we go down, this is going to take us into sitemap. So they have got a sitemap, which is basically to help Google or any search engine understand what the site's about. So it's like giving it like a map of the actual site, and that's updated regularly whenever you make an update on your site. So it's probably like every couple of hours or daily, and it's automatic, by the way. And then we've got the robot.txt. So this is like telling, you know, search engines not to kind of do certain actions on your site if you instruct it to do so. Even if you're not instructing it to do anything, you still want to have that set up. And then obviously, you know, they've got Google Analytics as well, which is very useful in order to gather all of that traffic information. So if we take a look at the mobile on here, it's got a 73 experience on speed, and then user experience is 99 out of 100, which I found to be true. You know, it's very good in regards to the actual experience I had on the page. And then we've got 93 in regards to page speed. So the content is very well formatted and sectioned. You know, if I were looking for something, I could easily find what I'm looking for. And one of the things that they've done very well is they've actually optimized for each specific product to be the best at something. Now, this is something that I always push. and I always use. So if you're doing like a product review, how do you kind of make someone choose from 11 products? Well, you could make one the cheapest, one the best overall material, or one the most durable or the most sturdy. You know, one is the lightest, one is the most user friendly or easiest to set up. You want to make each one the best at something. So someone comes through, like say for example, if they're talking about drones or something, it might be one is the fastest speed, or one's the least expensive, one's the most beginner friendly, or you know, one has the camera function on the remote. Whatever it is, you want to highlight it, so when someone comes through and they kind of skimp and scroll through, they can easily find what they're looking for and go, oh well, this one's easiest to install, yeah, because that one I bought before was very hard, and then they can obviously, you know, read in depth about that. But this one's easiest to adjust and whatever. So they've done that very well. One of the other things that work very well as well is basically confirming to the reader when they land on this page above the fold. So above the fold is this area here. This down here is the actual fold area, and then basically anything above in this section is above the fold, because anything below here is what they won't see unless they scroll. And why this is so important is because this is where people bounce off your page. So if someone comes here and they think, oh, this is not it, they'll click off and they go somewhere else, okay, and go search it again in Google. So what you need to have here is an image that conveys exactly what they're going to kind of find out, or what this topic is about. So that's very good at the top. And then you want a title that clearly conveys to them what this article is going to tell them. And then within the first kind of couple of sentences, you want to tell them that you're going to be talking through something that they that solves their problem. And one of the things you need to clearly understand is what level of the buying process or buying cycle the reader is in when they land or type in something like best convertible car seat. This person has already decided that they want a car seat. So if you started this saying, oh, you know, car seats are very good for children because blah 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 blah, they already know that. They don't need to, they're not looking for information on why car seats are good, they're looking for the best one to purchase. They've already got their card ready. They're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna buy a car seat today, I just need to know which one it is. So all your introduction needs to tell them is that you're going to help them make a decision. That's all they're looking for, is they want to make a decision on which one to buy. So let's have a look at what they've done here. If your child needs to be in a car, must be kept protected and blah blah blah, right? Okay, so I personally wouldn't start off like that because they know that already, but they are kind of reiterating that point and reinforcing it. So what could be safer than the best convertible? Now there's so many models. See, so this is exactly what they need to see, because the person's thinking that there's so many models, I don't know which one to buy, so it would drive me crazy. So look, that's why we're here to assist you in making a decision. That is absolutely brilliant. So this is a great intro because they have reiterated the point of the safety aspect. So just to kind of give them the fear factor that they do need to make this decision today, and then confirmed it persuasively to say, right, you know, so it's left them like it's a rhetorical kind of question. And then we've got, you know, what would be safer than blah blah blah, and then it's confusing, but we're going to help you to make that decision. That's exactly what you want to see. And then you always want the top 5 or short kind of paragraph with the quick picks for the people who just want to get off the page and quickly, and that's above the fold as well. So you can see here, you always want to get in with the intro straight into the top picks quickly. If they're in a hurry, I'd put like, in a hurry, here's the top 5 that we got in the review, you know, or that we reviewed, and then boom, straight off. And then obviously they can go into the in-depth reviews over here if they want to read further on that. And then at the end we've got the frequently asked questions, and then again the buyer's guide. So that's actually giving them a guide on how to make a buying decision. You want to cover absolutely everything. I usually put the buyer's guide at the top after the top 5 picks, but you can follow this strategy as well, which works very well just as well. You have to split test and see obviously what works better for you. There are conversion rate optimization tools that you can use for that. So the last thing I want to check is the actual ranking distribution. So as I was saying earlier, you can see that some of them are branded and some are miscellaneous, so on and so forth. So if we take a look at ranking distribution, all that is basically that shows us the average amount, well, not even average, but yeah, the amount of keywords that they're showing up for within a given position. So if we take a look at this, it says they've got 6 different keywords they rank for in positions 1 to 3. They've got 50 keywords that they show up for in positions 4 to 10, 86 in positions 11 to 20, 144 in positions 21 to 30, 433 in positions 31 to 50. Okay, and then we can see here that the best convertible car seat is the smallest they've used. So that's exact match anchor text. So this is the anchor text distribution, and the 69% is making up miscellaneous, which is very good because it shows that they're not aggressive in regards to their anchor text. And then obviously you've got some branded here with the name of the author of the site or something. Janelle must be, and then best car seat. So I would have made an author profile for Janelle. You know, they've got exact match there as well, which is okay to a certain degree. So that's based on the outbound anchor text, so the ones that are coming in from external websites. And then you can see that the do follow ratio is 55 and 303 no follow links. So it's 15% do follow. I would try and get that to 50%, but you'd have to analyze again the top 10 or 5 ranking websites and see what the average is for that, because if they're all averaging 15%, then you want to replicate what they're doing. So the last thing we're going to do is just drum this into Ahrefs, and we're going to take a look and see exactly how well the site's doing in regards to backlinking clearly, because my site's a little bit inaccurate, this tool, when it comes to backlinks. Doesn't gather as much information, and we'll take a look at that. So we've got one more thing after. All right, so we can see here backlinks 76% do follow ratio. See where my tool was saying 15%, which was inaccurate. That looks a lot better. Referring domains is 50% do follow domains. Linking, so unique links 50%. They've got an even split of 50 links roughly that are coming from no follow and 50 that are do follow, which is absolutely brilliant. And then here, if you sort that by domain rank, you can see the top ranking domains that are linking to these articles, and then it tells you if it's no follow, and if it's not that, then it's a do follow link like that. Okay, so that shows you very good backlink profile for the size of the site, and it has a domain rating of 30, which is very good. And you can see the top 5 anchor text that they're using here, which is performing the best, and top 5 pages based on the backlinks that it's receiving is obviously these ones here. So that's the home page, which is very good. Okay, so if we take a look at this, we can see that the average word count of the top 10 ranking websites is 4,785. So they've gone a little bit overboard on that, but it sometimes works in your favor. You'd have to test and see. Now, more accurate tools for on-page SEO and content length is going to be SEO Power Suite's website auditor, or you could also use Surfer SEO, which I've seen a lot of experts use within the space. And then you can see all of the keywords that they have included that the top 10 ranking sites are including as well. So the average sites that are on the first page are using all of these kind of keywords. So you would want to potentially incorporate these words into your article to make sure that your on-page SEO is on point. And then you can see, look, recommended keywords, they've got must keywords at 48, 28 related, and total is 76. Okay, and you can see that on this section as well, which is obviously the top URL keywords over here. So you can see what ones they don't have, like rear facing car seats, so on and so forth. So they've only got like, you know, a good 5 out of those ones that are here. And then this just basically shows you, like, you know, the kind of top 10 sites, and then any questions that people are asking within that niche. It pulls it from forums and all of that stuff, and you can see all the average word count. So that there'll be a massive one that pushes up the word count average. Okay, so this one here, so they're okay, to be honest, with in regards to 6,000, but I would go and run that through Surfer SEO or Website Auditor to confirm on word count specifically. All right, so they're doing pretty well. I think it's a good site overall. There are a few things that I would change, but I think in regards to a product focused site, it's a very good one. The site's currently listed at $12,000, which is a 31x or 32x multiple based on monthly earnings. Could do with a little work, but it's very good, and it has a huge potential in regards to just some on-page optimization, a logo, which is not going to really make a substantial difference in regards to the logo, so don't think that's going to increase your earnings or whatever else. That's just for, you know, long-term longevity of the site. And then obviously maybe swapping out and testing some different products would make a difference to the income of the site, and using more images that are more realistic, you know, like more authentic, opposed to these stock looking images. All right, so that's it for the video today. If you did enjoy it, then make sure to leave a like on the video. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe. As always, I thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.